everybody. I'm Katy and welcome to this May 2023 Good Talk. I'm really excited to be here on the couch. We're doing this again with Nick and Lucas, who you are going to be really thrilled to meet and hear from. I've just been chatting with them and having a great time. I hope everyone's enjoying this beautiful New York City, Brooklyn weather that we're having. Let me introduce Goodwill. So Goodwill is an organization, you may know us for our thrift clothes, which of course, as you know, I am wearing. But we do so much more than thrift. We've got our sustainable mission, but we've got our double impact of helping bulldoze barriers to employment. We also bulldoze barriers for stigma as well, but we think of, some of that is all related to employment. So we served over 9,000 people last year in a variety of different programs, which are behavioral health. We've got programs for people with autism and intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we have programs for those that are unemployed and underemployed, and we help in a variety of different ways. However, being May, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. I hope you guys have been hearing about that, maybe participating. The NAMI Walk was just 2 weekends ago, or last weekend, I don't know what day it is, on the 20th. And we've had a lot of news out there around mental health, mental illness, and obviously we've also unfortunately had a terrible tragedy here in New York City with the killing of Jordan Neely recently. And so mental illness is really on all of our minds, and the importance of services, treatment, and consistency of those services, especially thinking about the tragic killing. I guess it's very complicated, but Jordan Neely death. But so I'm going to just read a couple of facts. You may not know that more than 1 in 5 New Yorkers have symptoms of mental illness, according to the Department of Health. In any given year, 1 in 10 adults and children experience mental health challenges serious enough to affect functioning in work, family, and school life. And 2/3 of homeless New Yorkers have some measure of mental health needs, but certainly that's related when we think of sometimes mental illness, but mental illness is throughout our entire population. Goodwill has a lot of important services here in behavioral health, and we've been doing this work for over 2 decades. Nick has been with us for 8 years, so that's great. Almost, I guess, just a little bit more that we've been doing it. We help people do 3 important things. 1 is advocate for your rights, bulldoze barriers for employment, and really focus on peer community, which is, I think, a really wonderful part of the way Goodwill approaches behavioral health. I'm a social worker. Whenever I go to PROS or the Clubhouse and PAL, these peer communities, I think to myself, this is what social work school is all about. I mean, this is just the jam. You really see people, and you'll hear more about it from them, but you really see peers, people with lived experience, running programs, talking about their experiencing, helping each other from a real place of knowledge of the experience. So we have our PROS program that you're going to hear about, Clubhouses, which I just mentioned. They're a wonderful model. They're a model, international model that Goodwill is thrilled to participate in. And we've got 1 in Queens and 1 in the Bronx. We have peer advocates, which is just what it sounds like. Folks with lived experience who advocate for each other, run groups, do a variety of different things. They also have the certification and professionalization of that peer work, which is really excellent. And then we have our assisted competitive employment, we call it ACE. Our wonderful Devin up in the Bronx helps folks with mental illness secure employment services. We do some transitional work, which can be kind of like an internship or like a subsidized job for a little while as you're getting into that. And then you focus on what we call competitive employment, which is just applying for a job and then getting into it and then supporting folks while they're there. So those 4 programs served over 1,500 people last year here at Goodwill. So pretty great. We are excited that we're doing more, and we actually have another PROS program, so that's like expanding. So let me get to the experts here who are on the couch. So Nick Brunner is the director of one of our 3 PROS programs. So I we'll start with what is PROS?
Yeah, so thank you for having me, first of all. PROS is a New York State model of mental health treatment and care. It stands for Personalized Recovery Oriented Services, and it's really a person-centered model. So everyone coming to PROS has a goal that they want to work on, something that is really unique to them in their life, something that they would like to change or move forward with, and are wanting some supports in managing mental health barriers or learning some new life skills toward meeting their goals. And it's really a group-based model. So we run a lot of groups at our site in Astoria. Goodwill also has a PROS in Harlem and one in Brooklyn. But in Astoria, we run about 70 groups a week currently. Yes, so a lot of groups.
That seems like a lot of groups.
Yeah. All about groups. And some of those groups are mental health related, so learning skills to manage anxiety or depression or hearing voices, different particular mental health barriers. And then some of them are more focused on learning particular life skills, travel skills, learning to apply to jobs, social skills, things like that. I think something at our program, we're in Astoria, we have a lot of creative arts therapists on our team. So we do a lot of drama therapy groups, art therapy, we do music groups, really trying to use the arts in recovery and treatment and find creative ways for healing.
That's amazing. Now you yourself are let me make sure I get a degree in drama therapy from NYU. You've been with us, you're saying, as an intern to employees. So if you're interested in an internship, we we definitely we love that. We love interns. And so tell me, what you've really brought a lot of this drama and some of this art therapy, and it's certainly part of PROS, but you're really bringing your spin on it. Tell me a little bit about what kinds of art and drama that you guys have in your program.
Yeah, so we have a variety of groups. We do a lot of different kinds of art groups. I know some are more open studio related. Some of them are more directive. Lucas, I know you've done like collage work, painting, some big mural kind of stuff. Anything that you can think of art-wise? Yeah, and then the drama therapy, right, that's really my modality.
Yeah.
We've been able to do some direct performance work.
Yeah.
Lucas actually participated in a project we did last fall in partnership with NYU, where we did a storytelling project where some of our participants elected to kind of go through this workshop with myself and some of our interns to devise their own personal stories that were about moments of transformation in their lives. And then we're able to invite the community, and they performed publicly at NYU and told some really beautiful stories and did some amazing work. So we've done some direct performance in that way. We have some drama therapy groups that are more play and improv based. So some participants who really love, coping on your feet is really the improv.
Okay.
We love, lots of different ways of the arts.
That's great. And we were just talking beforehand about this. I was really asking about this great thing that you guys did when you're telling your own story. And you were telling me it's a little bit like the moth.
Yeah.
And Lucas, you wrote one of those stories too?
Yeah, I wrote a story about the hospital and my experiences with the psych wards. But some people wrote stories just about going to the library. So there's a bigger niche.
That's awesome. Well, I love that. I love hearing about that. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about the goals. Like, why do people come to PROS, and what are their goals, and how does PROS help them achieve that with coping on your feet? I mean, it makes sense to me that would help me, like, in the moment. But like, how do you help people achieve their life goals, as they're, moving stigma out of the way and, possibly even getting to work?
Yeah, so in the PROS model, there are 4 goal areas. People are either working toward employment, housing, relationships, or education. So everybody has a goal in one of those areas. It's going to look different person to person, depending on what exactly they want to work on. But we have groups that are sort of tailored toward really specific work on those goal areas. So if somebody's working on getting a job, they might attend some groups about career exploration, just learning what kind of careers are even out there. Or they might be attending a group that is learning how to build a resume and how to actually apply to jobs. They might be working with our employment counselor who's helping them do some of that work and then go out into the community to actually apply or practice the interview skills, things like that. So we can really help people focus on those specific goals that they're working on, while they're also learning skills to, manage their anxiety or feelings of depression or whatever might, they feel is the barrier for them at that moment.
That's great. Let's see here. But I have my list of questions. Let's see here. Oh, you just did an event at NYU also in the Washington Square Park just this May for Mental Health Awareness Month. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so we did a community event in partnership with NYU and some other organizations that NYU works with to really build some awareness around Mental Health Awareness Month and community and arts and how community can be healing, which I think is a big part of PROS. I would say that's also what has really kept me at PROS for so long, is that it is a community of people, and the support that the participants have for each other, that the staff have, it really is a beautiful community space. And I think a lot of healing happens in community. And I think it's something that PROS does really well. And so this was an event to really celebrate that kind of work and to build it out into a wider community. And so this was an event at Washington Square Park that was open to the public. We had beautiful weather for the day. And different organizations did some performances to draw people in. We at Goodwill were running an arts booth that people could come and do some artwork with us or have their face painted. Goodwill also led some Theater of the Oppressed activities to build community and bring people in.
What's Theater of the Oppressed?
Theater of the Oppressed is a style of theater developed by Augusto Boal. It's about bringing theater to the people and also exploring systems of oppression and how we can dismantle those systems of oppression and really build ideas and bring ideas from people directly to be able to do that. So we were able to do some of that work with the community.
Great.
Yeah.
So there's just like people that were in the
people
park.
coming to the park, they come and draw them in. There were music events that pulled people.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful event.
That sounds like a great event.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. And Lucas, you were there that day?
I was there, yeah. It was run by my program that I graduated college as well, so it was really nice.
Good. That's great. Now, if someone is watching this, some of the things that we do is we do recruit folks. How do they get involved, or who do we look for to join PROS?
Yeah, so to be in PROS, someone just has to be 18 or older, have a mental health diagnosis, and have a goal that they are wanting to work toward that they want some support with. So they can reach out to services at goodwillny.org for more information, or they can go to the Goodwill website and get direct contacts for 3 different PROS programs, depending on which one they're closest to or would like to join.
Yeah, and Nick's in Astoria. You want to work with him and be part of the community. So that's great. So Lucas, it is great to meet you. We were just chatting and I got to see some of your fantastic visual art, but you're also talking about your storytelling and some of your other. But let's start with, I guess, why'd you come to Goodwill? I mean, we just heard a little bit about that, and how's it, what do you like about it? What's working for you?
I was really struggling when I came to Goodwill. I was like underemployed. I was turning to sex work. I was hearing a lot of hallucinations, and I didn't know what I was experiencing. So I was very scared to tell people about that. I was living very alone. I had boundaries with a lot of people, and so I was just kind of unsafe. And so I came because I was going to a program called the Red Blue Center. It's for Eagles, and Nick's friend works there. She felt that Nick could be of help to me.
Great. And how long ago was that?
That was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Probably,
Yeah. Great. So so tell me what you like about the PROS program. It sounds like you're in a different place. I know that you're working as an art teacher. It sounds like you're going back to school for a master's degree.
I haven't started.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, but you're going to. That's amazing. So just maybe a little bit on what has changed since that time.
We have like hearing voices group, so I was able to like start to take pride in my voices, and not be so secretive about them.
Yeah.
And actually get help for them. I have like a good relationship with my voices now. I'm not scared of them, so they don't control me anymore.
I'm just gonna pause and say what a huge deal that is. I just really, Nick's talked about those hearing voices groups before and the transformation, but that's a non-chemical transformation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really awesome for all of you, you know, and you can continue to work. I mean, that's really amazing. Congratulations. I don't know how else to say it. That sounds really comfort, you know, like now you know how to be friends with your voices.
Yeah. I didn't think that was something that was possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think like in common mythology, you wouldn't think that, you know, like you think, oh, it has to be this negative relationship, but you totally turned that on its head. Wow.
I've also worked on my boundaries a lot. I was putting myself in very unsafe situations and getting assaulted and things like that. And I know better boundaries now, and so I haven't really had anything like that happen to me in a very long time. I was also being hospitalized a lot, institutionalized a lot, and that's something that we had one like recent hospitalization in the hospital for a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. And you know, I really appreciate you sharing that. I know it's a big deal to share it. And I really honor that. And appreciate you sharing that, and that Nick and the community. How Nick and the community, like, it sounds like the big transformation here, but still more to do. You've got more art to do and a degree. So, and you're working. And so sometimes, you know, at Goodwill, we do talk about the person-centered approach. We talked about bulldozing barriers to employment, but tell me a little bit about your goals. Is work one of your goals, and how's that?
Yeah, going back to work was one of my big goals. It's going really well. I'm just trying to decide if like part-time or full-time is better for me. At the moment, I'm doing full-time, but I do really miss the PROS community, and I think that maybe doing something where I could go to PROS once a week would be a little bit better for me.
Well, that's an important balance. I mean, everybody's learning that in the world of work, is that we can't be at work all the time and give up the things that we need to do, whether it's, you know, going to PROS, taking a walk. I was just talking about my yoga class. You know, these are important things that we all need to do in order to show up in a way that's really productive for ourselves. And you're teaching art?
I do work for a teaching artist job, so I'm doing that, but I'm teaching science right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you're teaching science full time. I guess, you know, we were talking before about just, you know, the community. Is there anything else that you'd like to, I don't know, tell me about?
Getting the community is I was having a really like hard time finding the community with people who are recovery oriented. And so I worked in nightlife for 10 years. So, you know, some of my friends just weren't growing in the same way I was growing, and we were going in different directions. And that was painful. And I found a really great community of people who, you know, really want to get better.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. And you can't see, but he's got these fantastic shoes on. Great style. I don't know if they're from Goodwill, but we love it. You know, and it's really, you're bringing a lot of great energy and art into the world. So that's fantastic. I saw some of your pieces before, so I hope we have a chance to share that with the community as well. So that's amazing. I think that this is what we wanted to tell everybody about. If I don't know if we have any questions. Sometimes we have questions. We have a behind the curtain action here. We're going to check and see if there's anything on the chat. May or may not be. No. Okay, good. All right, great. Well, do you have any questions for me about Goodwill? You don't think so? Okay. Well, I'm really honored to have you guys here on the couch. Our new way of telling our Goodwill story, because one of our big goals is that not enough people know about the great work that we're doing. I know you're shaking your head. Yeah, I know. So everybody only knows the store. So like, I tell people, oh, I work at Goodwill, and they're like, oh, you work in the store. So you probably say I'm going to Goodwill. They're like, oh, you're going thrifting. So we really want both people to be excited about the thrift stores because we're really proud of them. But we also want people to really know our impact in the community and the over 1,500 folks, like we've just been talking about, that come to these groups, that get to go to Washington Square Park, get to tell their story, get to heal and be in a recovery community through drama and art and music and all our different programs. So really amazing. If you are an employer watching this and you would like to help us connect with some of our amazing candidates, you can do that. I think we call it Find Good People at Goodwill NY. If you want to just know, Nick said services at Goodwill NY is a great catch-all. If you're interested in this for yourself, for someone you love, please send them on. We would love to have them join our community and be in a supportive environment that's about healing, as you said, and about recovery, and get to express themselves through these many modalities. So pretty amazing. And I think we'll celebrate May, Mental Health Awareness Month. And thank you so much for joining us, both of you.
Thank you for having us.